Topic is the golden age of terrorism. So you probably received this reading. The documentary that we're going to watch is from a CNN series titled The 70s. And this episode focuses on 1970s terrorism, which they label as the golden age of terrorism. So why would it get that particular name? I don't know. My bet would be the amount of groups that emerged in the 1970s. Some maybe you haven't heard of, like the Weathered Underground. Their issues were political views with regard to Vietnam, as well as racial issues stemming from segregation and the treatment of African Americans. They wrote this piece, Prairie Fires, which outlined a lot of their views. If you want to see a copy of Prairie Fires, it is available on the site, so you can read through their manifesto if you choose to do so. So the reading looks at the Weathered Underground, as does the documentary, where you see the attempt to attack a United States military base, Fort Dix, New Jersey. And while the bomb makers are in the process of building their bomb in New York City in an apartment, something happens, an explosion takes place, and the perpetrators wind up dead as they are making a bomb which was planned for an attack. We also know from prior classes that this is also the golden age of skyjacking. And so we already looked at the bio on the skyjacker from the book The Skyjacker, which was the study looking at the imprisoned skyjackers by David Hubbard, who was a psychiatrist, was commissioned by the government to conduct the study. The reading looks primarily at terrorism in the name of the Weathered Underground, groups advocating for Arab nationalism as well as the Palestinian cause, and it looks at the PIRA, which is advocating for the people of Ireland, fighting against British imperialism. So if you're wondering whether or not women terrorists exist historically, look no further than Layla Khalid, who is somebody responsible for committing not one but two plane hijackings. The PIRA, which was addressed in the video. For the most part, we see the orange, which is controlled by the British Empire. Here we see Ireland and the people of Ireland, which are trying to liberate Northern Ireland from what they view as an example of British imperialism. So in the documentary, they address this, where they look at Bloody Sunday. That is an issue that definitely does come up in the series. So I'll keep that one in mind. Anyway, let's move on here. We see some more images from the PIRA. Keep in mind these images are from the 70s, from the 80s. It's just a simple Google search. Some entertainment. So while we have the PIRA conducting Bloody Sunday, the Weathered Underground, and planes being hijacked in the United States, maybe you're watching Sanford and Son or the Brady Bunch. And, maybe you're not focused too much, paying attention to the Olympic Munich massacre that takes place by Black September, which is also addressed in the documentary, because you're too busy listening to the classic song Disco Duck. What else is going on? Well, like I said before, we have the Olympic hijacking of Dawson Fields. We have Bloody Sunday taking place. Here we see the response, where a series of bombs are detonated in Belfast, which was a response to Bloody Sunday. The Mayloot Massacre, which takes place at a school. Here you see all of the victims for this particular tragedy. Yasser Arafat acting in the name of the Palestinian cause. The United States is trying to bring the Israelis and the Palestinians to some sort of agreement. The Camp David Accords, trying to find some resolution with Israel as well as the Arab states. And in the 1970s, we start to see the evolution of the Al-Qaeda ideology. This would definitely take shape in the 90s, but all of these individuals here are people that were alive in the 70s that were looking for a better place for Muslims. and they happen to be the founding members of Al-Qaeda. Al-Suri, who had spent numerous years writing his piece, Global Islamic Resistance. This is in the 90s, not in the 70s. And here we just see some images of two other Al-Qaeda leaders. So while political Islam is on the rise, maybe people are too busy watching Soul Train, watching the classic movie Saturday Night Fever. So let's get ready for the documentary, because it pretty much, this screencast, this slideshow just pretty much repeats the information. And that's it.